A very good afternoon to you. It is the 21st of July, 2023. Thank you for tuning in to Lunchtime News. I am Nissie, Imano, and Byron Abuli is our sign language interpreter this afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Now we begin in Murang'a County, where President William Ruto is touring the county and visiting several different institutions. He is currently at the Murang'a Secondary School, and we do have our reporters on standby there. We currently speaking is the CS for Education. We'll be giving you full updates, but let's listen in.
But you have come ahead of me. Umekuwa mbio, lazima nitafuata nitimise ile agano ambayo tulifanya na watoto. And Your Excellency, the time we had a meeting with the Form 4s, that time we did agree that they were going to improve their academic performance. And in a very special way, Your Excellency, I want to thank the principal of this school and the chairman, because for the last 3 years, there has been a tremendous improvement in academics in this particular school, because way back and last year, the mean score of this particular school was 8.7. And when I met the Form 4s last month at Mathare, they gave me an assurance that this year it will be 9. But again, as I came discussing with the teachers and the Form 4s this morning, Your Excellency, before you came, they said they are encouraged and properly motivated with your coming, and now it will not be 9, it will have to be more than 10. Si wanafunzi mulisema hivyo? Si mulisema hivyo? Your Excellency, apart from this being a symbol of holistic academic excellency, they have also done very well in extracurricular activities. And one of the games that is in the school that we are encouraging is basketball. Muko na basketball? And Your Excellency, your administration has done very well, because last year we got 5 million for this particular school, and from Murang'a County as a whole, we were able to give 137 million to the different schools in Murang'a, and the chair budget knows the percentage of that. So when you got the percentage, we actually did very well. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, because the total allocation given the education sector this particular year is such that it has never happened in this country ever since independence. Because we have 630 billion, which is 29% of the total budget of this country, and there before, the percentage that we used to have, the highest was 26%. We also thank you, Your Excellency, for the 56,000 teachers, and we assure you, Your Excellency, that there will be equity. The sacred mandate that you have given us, we will make sure that there is prudent management of the resources given the Ministry, Your Excellency. With those remarks, Your Excellency, I want to recognize my brothers and colleagues. We have Area Dowaro, ICT CS, and Your Excellency, we are partnering the TVET institution here. We have given the 100 computers, and the Member of Parliament can be able to confirm that. I will invite my sister, the CS who comes from this area, Alice Wahome, for a minute to make her remarks, and then from there I will be able to invite His Excellency the Deputy President. Welcome, Madam.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, your Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, Bishop James Maria, my good friend for a long time, the Governor Murang'a County, my colleagues, and the members of Parliament led by our 2 majority leaders, all protocols observed. Wasichana, warembo, Mugoi girls, habari zenu? How are you? Mambo? Si mko na rais leo? Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I understand the constraint on time. Thank you for the opportunity it would be wrong for a woman leader, a cabinet secretary, and I want to acknowledge the members of parliament, the women leaders from this county, just start once again so that we can actually, kina Veronica muko wapi? Just start so that the girls here, there is Betty, Wamaua, nataka hawa wapigiwe makofi. I want to just encourage the girls that ahead, please sit down. Ahead, there is room, there is space for women leadership. Your Excellency, in this particular county, it would have been wrong if I didn't come here to just, Your Excellency, remind you, and particularly the people of Murang'a, that we have several projects of water. One of those projects, Your Excellency, and you know it very well, is Idhanga water supply, which is 1 billion Kenya shillings. We have Keno Makutano, Your Excellency, water and sewerage system, which is 900 million shillings. We have Gatanga community water supply, 320 million shillings. We have here Madhioya Keharo combined project of about 270 Kenya million shillings, and that project is operational. Then we have Maragua town, where Mheshimiwa Maua is serving as the MP. We have planned 15 kilometers of water distribution from Maragua Dam, which is just new and completed. And then finally, Your Excellency, you will maybe possibly speak about Maragua 4, which you have directed that it becomes one of the priority dams among the 6 PIP projects, a very huge dam that will answer the problem of water for Maragua, Kandara, Kegumo, and Gatanga, and Kandara. Maragua 4 in the long term will be the solution. There was a request regarding Boho. Your Excellency, this is your meeting. I am at your service. I will go in respect of what you will advise. In fact, Mwaora should have made use of my office before, but now that Your Excellency is here, I think I will take your directions regarding a Boho for this particular school. And this is a school that I had wanted to come, lakini mambo hivi kaenda vibaya 1 point or 2. So the new proposals by our cabinet secretary, Your Excellency, would have helped me even going forward for purposes of university. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your Excellency, kindly with your permission, under 1 minute, because we have the top leadership of our National Assembly and the Senate here. Please, Kimani Chunga, 1 minute. And yes, please, 1 minute only.
Thank you, CS. Your Excellency, the President and our Deputy President, na watu wa Mogoire Girls, good afternoon. Asante. Your Excellency, mimi sina mengi because of time. Just to welcome you to this great school. And as the governor said, he was not the only lucky one. I know quite a number of members of parliament and other friends who have benefited from the intellect that comes from this great school of Mogoire Girls. Your Excellency, let me just say you are a great inspiration to these young ones, not just in this school but in our nation, when they see you today serving as the President of the Republic of Kenya, and even affording time to come and spend time with them on a day like this. You inspire them to know that they can grow to be anything that they want to grow into after their studies, after working hard in school. Your Excellency, you serving us as the President of the Republic of Kenya, having come from the humble background that you came from, and knowing that hundreds or millions of our school-going children, especially those who are in our public schools, all come from humble backgrounds like the one that you came from, together with our Deputy President and many of us, Your Excellency, is indeed a great inspiration. Your Excellency, in conclusion, your presence here today in a school environment signifies the kind of peace and tranquility that Kenya is enjoying today. And I must take this opportunity to thank you for having ensured that the people of Kenya continue to enjoy the peace and tranquility that they prayed for even as they went into elections, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I know our police force has been vilified for the actions that they have had to take to ensure that there is peace and our country, law and order thrives. But I want to encourage you that the task force, Your Excellency, that you appointed to look into the welfare of our officers, to hasten in the work that they are doing so that our police officers in this country are well taken care of. Well taken care of as well as they took care of the lives and property of Kenyans during these last 3 days when those who are engaging in subversive activities tried to interfere with the peace and law and order of our country, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, let me also take this opportunity to ask those investigative agencies that are in charge of investigations, and I know even those of us in the Fourth Estate, we are very quick to vilify our police officers, but we fail to recognize that there are criminal elements that have taken advantage of the demonstrations that were called by those in the opposition. And we have seen even armed groups engaging our police officers with arms. Honorable Your Excellency, Mr. President, the day before yesterday in Kangemi, there was a group that fired at police officers, and we are lost at what the police are expected to do when criminals using firearms are firing at police officers in the disguise of demonstrations. Our police officers must be firm to maintain law and order, and we must continue encouraging them. And we ask the investigative agencies to make sure that the criminal elements that have penetrated this demonstration, Honorable Speaker, as those who have called for the demonstrations, we hear they call for the demonstrations, and together with their families, some have gone to Mombasa on holiday, others are in Dubai, others are in London, as they leave young people to be battered in the streets and to fight with the policemen in the streets, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Mr. President, Your Excellency, you know we are used to addressing the Speaker in Parliament. So you should have said point of order, Mr. President, and I would have resumed. So, Your Excellency the President, being the Commander-in-Chief, I want to encourage you that do not relent in safeguarding the peace and security of our country. And nobody should intimidate our officers who have done a splendid job in maintaining law and order. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, allow me to now invite the Leader of Majority in the Senate, my brother Aaron Cheruiyot.
Asante. Thank you, Your Excellency, the President, Deputy President, leaders, and the girls of Mugoiri, and the whole school community. Naomba niwasalimu wote hamjambo. Well, Your Excellency, I have a very difficult task because the closer we get to you speaking, those of us that are speaking here, the more time we take, maybe you are standing between us and the Scania bus for the school. So we'll try and be very brief so that we don't take a lot of time. Secondly, Your Excellency, is just to congratulate this school because of the stellar story that we've had the opportunity to read and learn of the growth, your growth as an institution, and the tremendous work that you continue to do. I wish you well, the students that have had the opportunity to study in this great institution, and wish you success as you prepare for your exams and all the work that you do in your institution. Finally, Your Excellency, just to say that your coming here is not in vain. Perhaps maybe, and I'll say this because I'm among the youngest of leaders that are here, many of you may have forgotten what it feels as a student to see leadership stand before you. There is a spark and there is a fire that lights up in the heart and the mind of a student when they see leaders before them. It encourages them to be better, it makes them to dream and realize that they can too be great, just like the students said in the poem that they shared with us here. So thank you for finding time to visit with our girls. Finally, Your Excellency, I agree with what the leader of the majority in the National Assembly has said, about the need for you to be firm so that we can have sanity in our country. We cannot have a country, Your Excellency, where people fear to walk freely and go about their business. I want to request even our colleagues in the media to bear with our police officers, because I watched the news yesterday and I see the kind of criticism that is being leveled on our police officers without realizing the difficult work that they have to do. Some of them are facing hardcore criminals that are coming to them with machete, stones, and they are throwing them at our police officers. In fact, I want to challenge you as a media. The same way you are showing people that have been hurt on the demonstration, please visit Mbagathi Hospital and see the number of police officers that are lying in beds. Some of them have been cut, some of them have been shot at by criminals, some of them have gone through very difficult. Police officers are people's children as well. So as they do their work, let us give them the support that they need. The challenge about one or two that maybe have done one or two things that we don't agree with is a challenge that we have everywhere, because in every institution, challenges will be there. So, Your Excellency, stay firm together with your deputy as you secure the dreams of these young people by giving them a country that they can excel in. I thank you and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now invite the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to make his remarks, and I invite His Excellency the President. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Lordship, the Bishop, leaders present, the Chief Principal, and the girls, God is good. And all the time. Hi, girls. Your Excellency, today I will not say anything because I'm in a situation that I'm not able to say much. I normally know I'm a truthful person. And the truth of the matter is that I'm very shy to face so many girls. So kwa leo tu acha tu, sababu unajua hakuna mtu hana weakness yake. We may look very strong there, lakini with all these girls looking at me, I'm not able to say much. But I heard the chairman say that I should take care of something on Sunday. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, the way you clapped and cheered, it must be something very good. So whatever it is that he asked me to do, I'll do. Your Excellency, even I'm not able to face these girls, as I look down, I want to thank you on behalf of government and the people of Kenya for your leadership and strategic guidance in restoring sanity in our republic. Your Excellency, on the 13th of September last year, in Kasarani, before God and men, you took the Bible and swore to protect the Constitution, and in that very Constitution, there is a provision to protect life and property, and that is what you have done, Your Excellency. Kenya can now move forward, and Your Excellency, the decisions that you have made that have been ably been implemented by those below you brings to an end the politics of blackmail in our country. The use of violence for leaders to force themselves into government. Your Excellency, the situation is now for everybody to know that the only route to government is only one, the ballot box. And that brings an end to that chapter, and we ask those people now to go back to the drawing board and prepare for the next general election in 2027. I want to say, Your Excellency, I want to encourage our officers in uniform, the gallant men and women who have lived up to their oath of office to protect life and property from criminals. We want to urge our officers to stay put and not to be bothered by unnecessary criticism. And if those people do not want the police on the streets or all they need to do is keep off the streets. Had they not come to the streets, our policemen would not have left the police lines. So they are the ones who have invited them. And I want to say the police are available for open invitation any day. So if you don't want them to have an engagement with them, please don't invite them. But don't sit there and imagine that you can destroy property, kill people, and then the police can come and kiss you. It will not happen. Tuongee ukweli. Wewe kama utaki muambiane maneno na polisi, wewe kaa kwako nyumbani. There's no policeman who will come to your house. So we want to urge our officers, and I particularly want to thank the Regional Commissioner Central Kenya, the Police Commander Central Kenya, and all the commanders, and all our security and intelligence committees within this region, the 5 counties, for a good job that you did to protect life and property and to restore hope to the people of this region. We want to say thank you. Our political leaders, I want to thank you in a special way, because you said you cannot remain in Nairobi when your people are being butchered and brutalized by criminals. And we want to urge you to take care of the people who elected you. With those very many remarks, I request you to be upstanding and help me welcome the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Mr. President.
Basi, asanteni sana. Tafadhali tuketi. Mheshimiwa Deputy President, Governor wetu wa hapa, waheshimiwa wabunge, senators, women rep, speaker wetu wa hapa Murang'a, na waheshimiwa MCS wa hapa, ndugu viongozi wote, walimu na wanafunzi na wazazi, hamjambo. Mgoiri hamjambo. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Amen. Mimi kwanza nataka nichukue nafasi hii, askofu wetu, nimshukuru Mungu kwa kazi ambayo mnafanya hapa na kwa kutualika tufike hapa Mugoiri Girls katika siku hii ya ibada ya shukrani na vile vile prize giving day, na tumekuja hapa kusherehekea kazi mzuri inayoendelea hapa ya masomo ya watoto wa taifa letu la Kenya. Shule ambayo tuko nayo hapa ni shule ya kitaifa, inajumuisha watoto wa kutoka sehemu zote za taifa letu la Kenya. Na hivi ndivyo tunataka mambo katika taifa letu iendelee mbele. We want to unify the country. Our national schools are the arena where we bring all Kenyans together. And I'm very proud of Mugoiri Girls, as I am of all our other schools across the Republic of Kenya. Asanteni sana kwa kunialika hapa. Nataka nimshukuru chairman wenu Bwana Mwaura, ambaye ni rafiki yangu. Wakati alinitembelea aliniambia ya kwamba ni vizuri nifike hapa, lakini hakuniambia ya kwamba hapa mmenipangia. Nimetembea huko na mmeniweka mahali ambapo kutoka sasa inakuwa ngumu sana. Nawashukuru sana, na nataka mjue ya kwamba elimu ni kati ya maneno tulisema katika manifesto yetu ya kwamba lazima tushughulikie elimu ya watoto wa taifa letu la Kenya, kwa sababu elimu ni mahali ambapo Wakenya wote wanapata usawa. Pale katika kuelimisha watoto wetu, ndio mtoto wa mama mboga na mtoto wa rais watakuwa sawa, kwa sababu the education is the greatest, probably the only equalizer that brings the children of everybody and equalizes all the young people of our republic. Na ndio sababu tumeweka pesa kuzidi mwaka huu kwa mambo ya elimu, kwa sababu tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wetu wote wanapata nafasi ya kusoma. Nyinyi wasichana wangu wa hapa, niliwaeleza ya kwamba we have committed resources to education because it
We apologize for that. We will try and get the team in Murang'a back. The president is currently speaking at Mugoiri Girls High School in Murang'a County, and of course the president is on a tour, a working tour of the county. We will be giving you that update a little bit later. But we now are joined by Abdulaziz Hashim. All right, I'm told that we will be back with Abdulaziz in a bit. But for now, Siaya Township Ward Member of County Assembly James Obiero has been released on a 100,000 shillings bond pending the hearing of his case, where he is accused alongside 4 others of convening an unlawful assembly that led to the destruction of property. Obiero was arrested by police as he led residents in the ongoing anti-government protests.
Supporters of Siaya Township Ward Member of County Assembly James Obiero who had gathered outside the court precincts following his arrest. The MC was arrested on Wednesday, accused of convening an unlawful assembly in Siaya Town that led to the destruction of property. Obiero faced a second count of funding the illegal protest. The legislature, however, denied the charges, claiming that the case brought against him and 4 others were political witch hunt.
This application basically seeks to violate what Article 29A and B prohibits. The application seeks to deprive the first respondent of his rights to liberty and freedom, and it seeks to detain him without trial, without any basis or justification.
He was released on a bond of 100,000 Kenyan shillings with a surety of a similar amount or cash bail of 50,000 Kenyan shillings applicable to the other 4 who had also been arrested. The case has been scheduled for mention on the 24th July for further directions or orders of the court. Opito Chemtai for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, the Kenya manufacturing sector is losing a staggering 2.86 billion shillings on a daily basis as a result of the continued anti-government protest. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers chairperson, Rajan Shah, says protests have led to a significant blow to the manufacturing sector, with businesses bearing the brunt of the unrest. The protests, according to the association, have led to interruptions to the supply networks, consequently disrupting and delaying the transportation of goods, hampering the smooth functioning of businesses.
The safety of consumers visiting business premises has been gravely jeopardized, further aggravating the already challenging situation. Suffice to note, business have not been spared either with reports of damages and loss of properties such as vehicles, offices, shops, infrastructure, and outlets.
If the manufacturing sector is one of the largest employers, together with agriculture, as the chairman has just said, it is critical for us to be on the negotiating table. We come here to talk for Kenyans. We come here to talk for our SMEs who may not have the ability to have their voice heard. We do need to get back to work because this is the only way we will grow and develop our country.
And things like the demonstrations, the lack of political consensus is not useful for what we are trying to achieve as a country.
We are in a lose-lose situation. There is no winner in this scenario. We must all agree to dialogue and endeavor to find a compromise for us to move forward as a country and not reverse the gains we have achieved so far.
All right, we will now take you back to Murang'a County, where the President, William Ruto, is currently speaking.
Sheria na tupandishe mfumo ili tuhakikisha kwamba sisi wote tunabeba mzigo wa kutoshana na kila mtu kwa mambo yetu ya afya. Vile niliwaeleza, ili watu wa chini zaidi tutawapunguzia gharama ya NHIF kutoka shilingi 500 mnalipa saa hizi, tutateremsha ikuje 300 hapo. Na tunapanga saa hizi, na sisi ambao tunapata mshahara yetu iko juu kidogo, tutaongeza sisi tulipe kiwango ya juu kidogo, ndio tuhakikisha kwamba we can carry the majority of Kenyans and make sure that health becomes truly bottom up. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie watu wa Murang'a kwa mambo hiyo ya afya ya kwamba mwaka huu tunabadilisha maneno. Mbali na kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu anaweza kulipa pesa ya NHIF kwa kupunguza gharama yake, pia tumesema kuanzia mwaka huu tutalete wauguzi karibu na wananchi. Tuko na mpango tunafanya na counties ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba community health promoters 1,100 Kenya tunawaajiri, ili kila kijiji nyumba 100 iko na muuguzi mmoja ambaye atawatembelea mpaka manyumbani kwenu. Na tumekubaliana ya kwamba tutawanunulia vifaa ile kupima pressure, kupima sukari, sio lazima tena uende mpaka hospitali. Tutakuwa tunakupima hapo nyumbani. Na tuhakikishe ya kwamba Wakenya wote, we want to change the paradigm in matters health from curative to promotive and preventive. Tuanze kupambana na magonjwa pale nyumbani na tuhakikishe ya kwamba that process. Nataka nihakikishie watu wa Murang'a ya kwamba in the next 1 or 2 months wale community health promoters wenu wote 2,300 tutawapatia equipments from national government. Tumewapatia milioni 70 ya kufanya hiyo kazi, na wewe Kang'ata utapanga hiyo watu. Tumekubaliana pia ya kwamba every year we are going to extend another grant of 70 million shillings every year ya kulipa community health promoters tukisaidiana na county government, so that we can truly devolve matters health, because that is one commitment we want to keep as the Republic of Kenya. Kwa hivyo watu wa Murang'a, warembo wangu wa Mugoiri, mjue ya kwamba tunawapenda sana, tunawatakia heri, tutashirikiana katika hiyo kazi yote ya kusukuma taifa letu la Kenya mbele kwa maendeleo. Musikue na wasiwasi. Kenya ni nchi ambayo ni ya demokrasia. Tunaheshimu haki ya kila mtu, lakini vile vile tutahakikisha ya kwamba kila mtu bila ya ubaguzi, kila mtu anafuata sheria. Hakuna mtu atakuwa na mpango ya kuharibu sheria. Sisi wakati tumeenda kwa uchaguzi, we promised the country that we are going to make sure that is going to be what determines how we go forward as a country. We committed to the country that we are going to stop impunity. Vile tuliwaambia ya kwamba askari, hatutaruhusu askari kuvunja sheria na kuua watu kiholela. The same way we said we are going to get rid of extrajudicial killing is the same way we are committed to making sure that there is no impunity. You cannot, at the same time, while we get rid of extrajudicial killing, you cannot introduce impunity that you can destroy people's property, you can cause mayhem, you can cause anarchy and get away with it. You will not. The same way we have said Everybody must respect the rule of law. And we are asking our security agencies, our law enforcement officers to be thorough, to be firm, and I want to commend our security agencies for being professional in how they have handled all these people. Criminals must be dealt with firmly, decisively, and made sure that everybody respects the rule of law and we don't encourage impunity of any nature. Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of the authority you think you have or the power you imagine you have, all of us must respect the rule of law. Na kila mmoja wetu tufuate sheria. Mwisho, nimesikia mambo mazuri sana ya Mugoiri Girls. Na mumeniambia ya kwamba mnataka Scania. Mumesema ya kwamba hamuna mahali ya mnataka multipurpose hall. Na maneno ingine mingi mmeniwekea orodha. So bus, mimi nitanunua bus nitawatumia. Alafu hiyo kazi ingine mingi mmenipangia nitawatumia kupitia kwa waziri huyu shilingi milioni 50 ya hiyo mpango ingine yote hii. Alafu mutapanga vizuri na huyu wewe sasa yenda tafuta ushuru ndio tukuje tupatie hawa warembo pesa yao. So nawashukuru sana na nitarudi hapa tena kwa mapenzi ya Mungu. Mimi nataka niwaambie wasichana wangu nyinyi pia mfanye bidii. Hii kazi yote tunafanya ni kwa sababu tunawapenda. Mahali umeketi wewe msichana wangu, once upon a time I was sitting exactly where you're sitting. I was a student like the way you are today. And I want to encourage you that if you do your homework, if you stay disciplined, if you work hard, if you respect your teachers, if you respect your parents, the limit in the future is limitless. You can be greater than the men and women sitting here if you are focused. I want to encourage the girls in this school. I want to encourage the students in this school, as I do students everywhere in Kenya, that the commitment we make as a nation, as a society, is that we are committed to our children because they represent our present and they secure our future. You are the future that is going to make Kenya great, and that is why we are investing in you. As we invest in you, be careful to invest in yourselves by making sure that you do the right things. So, girls, I am looking forward to a good report end of this year, especially the class that is going to do exams this year. Class of 2023, are we there? You will make us proud, I hope. Will you? Mbona sauti yenu imeenda chini tena? Will you make us proud? I can see you will. So I wish you my very best. Na hiyo allocation tumepatiwa ya mimi nimepatiwa allocation ya tarehe ngapi? Nimepatiwa allocation hapo So nitapanga mwalimu mkuu hapo. Nitakupanga mambo hiyo imesemekana, alafu hao warembo watajivinjari. Wananchi wa hapa Mugoiri, nataka niseme asante sana na wapenda sana warembo wetu wasichana, walimu, and we will continue to work with you on matters education. Thank you very much to the church for providing leadership and spiritual nourishment to all our girls, and we wish you well. Watu wazazi wote, asanteni sana kwa sehemu mnayochangia katika kusomesha hawa watoto na kuchunga watoto wetu wa Kenya. Children is a collective effort by parents, our spiritual leaders, the government. It is our collective project. Asanteni sana na nawatakia baraka ya Mungu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tafadhali tuketi. Kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba tafadhali ujumuike nasi hapa juu. Tafadhali kwa heshima. Tafadhali naomba naibu wa rais, tafadhali jumuika naye pamoja na waziri. Vile vile naomba mwenyekiti wa bodi na mwalimu mkuu wajumuike nasi. Tafadhali. Na ni katika kipindi cha kuwatuza wale wanafunzi ambao waliweza kufanya bora. Tafadhali wengine tuketi, kwa sababu tuna kipindi kifupi ambacho kimesalia tutakachokifanya kwa haraka kidogo cha kuwatuza wale wanafunzi ambao wamekuwa wakibobea katika nyanja mbalimbali. Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa kuanzia tutaanza na wale wanafunzi ambao waliweza kufanya bora mwaka jana, mwaka 2022, wakiongozwa na mwanadada Lilian Wanjohi. Atafuatwa na Agnes Ndanu. Atafuatwa na Mary Njuguna. Makofi jamani, kwa sababu walijaribu sana. Atafuatwa na mwanadada.
Our live pictures coming to us from Murang'a County, where President William Samoei Ruto has just given his speech. He is on a working tour in Murang'a County, and that is Mugoiri Girls Secondary School. We will now be joined by our reporter Abdul Aziz Hashim, who is going to be giving us an update from Mathare. Day 3 of the anti-government protests. Good afternoon, Hashim.
Well, good afternoon to you too. Indeed, we have been camping in various areas here in the capital. It all started here in Mathare. We are currently in Mathare, and of course these particular streets are very familiar given that we have seen scenes of police officers as well as protesters for the last few days combating each other. But today the script is a little bit different. We have been camping here for the last 5 hours or so. In terms of the security, it has been heightened, and the residents as well have been able to maintain peace. As you can see behind me, there is a contingent of police officers already armed to the teeth to ensure the safety of the residents. But a very interesting thing that were happening this particular morning, Nissie, is that we have seen operations in not just Mathare, in Imara Daima, in Jacaranda. They have resumed. Residents have resorted to go back to their day-to-day operations to, of course, look for what they can earn for their daily bread. This street that you're currently seeing here, those are live images. This is how it has been since morning. Business operators have been able to open. The police are here manning those businesses to ensure there is safety and, of course, the protection of public property. You do remember the Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, had assured Kenyans that their property as well as their lives will be protected even if the situation arises. But we also saw instances where in Imara Daima, a handful of protesters were trying to take it to the street, but police were able to contain the situation by lobbing a few tear gas canisters. But this is not the situation that we have been able to witness in this particular area. But we have listened to what the OCS of this particular area was saying. He has called on a lot of security apparatus to come to the area just in case if there are any protesters who decided to, of course, take it to the street. You do remember also the Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, clearly stated that today over 100 protesters were being able to be arrested, and of course they will be arraigned on Monday. The ones who will be arrested today will be arraigned on Monday. This is the current situation here in Mathare. You do remember these streets have been witnessing a lot of chaos and violence, but as to the monicum as well as to the assurances given by the Interior CS as well as the Inspector General of Police, that is Japhet Kome, all is well. In Imara Daima, we have been camping for at least 2 hours or so. Of course, there were bonfires lit, but they were put out by the local enforcement. A handful of protests, not just the numbers that we used to be seeing in the capital for the last few weeks. You do remember the Azimio Brigade, led by the ODM leader Raila Odinga, had issued a number of areas, including the Jivanji, which is in the heart of the Central Business District, Imara Daima, as well as in Kibra. Those are the hotspot areas that police have been designated to. Of course, there is the issue of the Article 37 of the Constitution, where the residents are maintaining that they have the constitutional right to voice their concern. You do remember the bone of contention between the government and the opposition. It's all about the high cost of living, and especially when it comes to the fuel prices, which were raised from the 8% to the 16% VAT. But here the traffic is moving on smoothly. People are moving up and about. It has been a joyous day for some residents who are speaking to, and of course some of the traders that also had a chance to speak to us clearly stated that they are continuing with their day-to-day operation. They say for the last 48 hours, that is on Wednesday and Thursday, they have been bleeding financially. You also do remember the Kenya Association of Manufacturers clearly stating that in a day, especially here in the capital, the country loses about 3 billion. So if the demos were to continue from the Wednesday to Friday, it means the country, which especially the capital that contributes to the gross domestic product of the country, could have lost at least 9 billion. Those are just by the estimation. Will still be camping. We have been told by the OCS as well they'll be going to Jacaranda. We have been heard as well as protesters will be heading there, and Imano. Those are the areas we're currently keeping an eye on, but all is well here in Mathare. Back to you.
Thank you very much. That is Abdul Aziz Hashim with a very elaborate report on Mathare and Imano and the environs. It's just saying that normalcy has returned to that particular part of this city. All right, we'll now also head on over to Kibra. Our reporter, Timothy Kipnusu, is on standby there to give us a picture of what Kibra looks like today. Good afternoon, Kipnusu.
A very good afternoon to you, Nissie, Imano call there, the broadcasting house. Yes, indeed, I'm coming to you live from Woodley in Kibra constituency. This is the political bedrock and the stronghold of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga. And normally when we have such demonstrations, the residents of this particular area hit to the call of the leader 100% the level of compliance. And as you can see, there is a relatively calm in this particular area, but just like 2 hours ago, there was running battles between the police and the demonstrators who are trying to access this road that leads to the main road, but the police managed to contain the demonstrators and they did not manage to access that particular road. And of course, in Olympic area, there were also a number of cases where the demonstrators were trying to barricade or block the roads. The roads were inaccessible in that particular area after the demonstrators tried to burn tires and making the situation worse. As we can speak right now, the situation has been contained also in Olympic area, one of the areas where the protesters normally arm themselves to demonstrate. And we've been here for the better part of today after we've left in that particular area in Olympic, and I've seen a number of choppers moving around, just patrolling the area to survey so that they can give the police first-hand information in regards to this particular demo so that they can move in action in case of any eventuality. As you can see, the police officers, security apparatus just there taking their lunch, an indication that there's no tension in this particular area in Kibra constituency. And this particular area on Wednesday, Nissie, the shop that you're seeing on your screen was vandalized and 5 TV sets was stolen by the protesters, and that's why the security apparatus are on high alert just to ensure that nothing of the sort happens again. Remember, they have a responsibility, a constitutional responsibility to protect property, and that's why they are here just on high alert just to ensure that the demonstrators do not access this particular road and destroy property here in Woodley. So we'll be here the better part of today just to observe the situation, and of course we will be able to update our viewers on any developing story here in Woodley in Kibra constituency. From here, we are heading back to Olympic. That's that area where is a hotspot where demonstrators normally compile or just normally are there to arrange for these particular demos. And of course, we'll be able to give you the story as it unfolds. Back to you, Nissie.
Thank you, Timothy Kipnusu, giving us an update from Kibra. Empty streets, but police presence, heavy police presence, and he'll be giving us another update later in the day. We will also now head on over to the Milimani courts, where Ruth Wambui has been pitching her tent. She'll be giving us an update following a couple of arrests that have been made or had been made, and Ruth is on standby to just tell us what is currently happening at the courts. Good afternoon, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Nissie. Imano. We are coming to you live from Milimani Locus, whereby we know Babu Owino, who was being held from on 18th, on Tuesday, when he was arriving from Mombasa. He was landing at JKA. That's when he was arrested. And yesterday is when he was being brought to the court, and his battery of lawyers raised a question on why he has been held for more than 24 hours without being brought to a court of law. Then yesterday at a few minutes past 5 p.m. is when he was brought to court, and he was charged with him and 6 others were charged with one offense, which is they conspired to commit some subversive activities which are prejudicial to the public. So because the ruling went on, and the direction, the submission from all councils went on up to around 9 p.m. That's why now the magistrate decided to give his ruling today morning. And at around 9:30 a.m., Babu Owino and his 6 other co-accused were brought to court. And one of the issues that the defense raised, was that yesterday night there was some torture to the accused, to Babu and his co-accused, and that they were tortured while at the police cells in Kileleshwa. So the magistrate did not dwell much on that, and he decided to release him on him and his co-accused on 100,000 cash bail or 200,000 bond. Now, the processing of the bond was done, but we understand that he has not yet left Milimani. As my cameraman can show you, security is tight around here. So we are being told that he's still in Milimani because he is fearing that if he comes out, he might be rearrested. So the bond has been processed, but he's still here inside Milimani waiting. He fears if he comes out, he might be rearrested. Security has been around here, and if my cameraman can on the other side, he can show you people are not being allowed to come closer here, because you also understand that Maina Njenga is supposed to be arraigned here today. So we are also waiting to see which time he will be brought here, so that maybe we can know which charges have been placed against the former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga. But now it's a wait and see situation. But as you can see, security has been beefed up around here. We are just camping here to wait and see how the day will unfold, and if Maina Njenga will finally be brought to be charged here at Milimani Law Court. But right now, as we speak, we don't know where he is. We are just waiting to see when he will be brought here to be charged, and to see which charges or offenses he will be charged with. I now hand you back to studio. We will keep our viewers updated in our subsequent bulletins. Back to you, Nissie Imano, to continue with the rest of the bulletin.
Indeed, thank you, Ruth, for that update from the Milimani courts on the Embakasi East MP Babu Owino, who has been released on bond but is yet to come out. And Ruth and the rest of the team are on standby to give us that update. Now moving on, residents and business owners in Nakuru West are counting losses running into hundreds of thousands of shillings after rowdy youth vandalized homes and businesses during the second day of opposition protest. The hooligans, who are alleged to have disguised themselves as protesters, raided homes and business premises and carted away with electronics, foodstuffs and clothes. Hero reports.
On the second day of the Azimio demonstrations in Nakuru, Shabab and Ronda areas bore the brunt of the protest as goons took advantage and looted business premises and homes. Noel Nafuna, desperation written all over her face, narrates her painful ordeal in the hands of the armed youth, who she said broke into her house and stole electronics and foodstuffs. She says at the height of the street protest in the area, the rowdy youth armed with crude weapons moved from house to house, terrorizing occupants.
Wanainuana kwa gate, wanarusha mmoja ndani na wako na mashoka ile sharp. Wanakata hiyo kifuli, alafu mlango wanakata, wanaingia ndani. Wanaambia kaa chini. Ukijaribu kubishana nao, wanakuumiza. Walibeba chakula yote. Shopping ilikuwa imejaa pande hii yote. Hakuna sahi hata unga, mpaka sufuria wanabeba mpaka na jiko.
Jared Olado, a resident of Shabab Estate, says the youth were masked to hide their identity.
Wavamizi wakaingia, wakavunja gate, wakatengeneza gate, wakaingia ndani. Kuingia ndani, wakaanza kuangalia manyumba. Wakavunja dirisha, wakaingia ndani. Wakaingia, wakatoa TV. Wakaanza kungangania wakiwa wawili. Tukatoka. Wakatoa kila kitu, wakapasua hizo vitu zingine kwa napasuliwa kwa barabara huko nje. Wanaangusha chini manguo za watoto, makarai za maji zilikuwa pale nje. Wamechukua wameenda nazo. Jiko zangu za huwa nafanya events. Jiko 9 zilikuwa kwa nyuma. Wakabeba zile jiko kubwa zote na wakaenda nazo.
Paul Mwangi, who owns a butchery in the area, says the protesters broke into his shop and made away with freezers, which he had acquired through a bank loan 3 months ago, and expresses fear that the protests could quickly cut short his source of livelihood.
Wameiba gas na kila kitu ya kupika kwa hii butchery. Yaani kwa kisasa nimebaki kama sina chochote kibiashara. Wamenimaliza kabisa.
The residents want security agencies to scale up patrols to avert muggings by criminals infiltrating the weekly opposition-led anti-government protests.
Si wa hii area. Sababu hii area wangefanya vitu kama hizi. Walitoka mbali na walikuwa wamekusanyika vijana, wamama na watoto wadogo.
Tunaomba hii watu umewapea muda sana, umekuwa na huruma sana, na ile watu walikuwa nasema ya kusaidia kutoka chini ndio wanaumizwa.
John Kahiro for Lunchtime News.
And the Church and Clergy Association of Kenya are calling for dialogue between President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga to end anti-government protests that they claim are disruptive. The leaders who spoke in Meru have further called on the opposition chief to call off the demonstrations in the interest of the nation. The clerics insist that Kenyans continue to shoulder the weight of the high cost of living and that the demonstrations are complicating the situation. They have, however, called for peaceful coexistence among Kenyans and to reject attempts by the political class to create ethnic fault lines.
We want to appeal to the president. You are the father of the nation, and everybody, those who voted for you and those who did not vote for you, are your children because you are a father. And we appeal to you, kindly find a way where we can have talks with the opposition, because as we are looking at how things are happening right now, we are losing lives, we are losing businesses, and if this continues, we feel that the country is not heading in the right direction. So we are making a passionate appeal to you. You have our support, and we would want to see dialogue. There is always a good way of solving issues.
Kila mwananchi na kila mahali anaumia kwa maandamano ambayo yanaendelea. Na njia ya kutatua ishinda ni rahisi tu na mnaibu wake na viongozi wako wengine ambao ni advisors wake. Waungane pamoja, waketi wakuja na shuru moja na wamtafute mwenzao Raila Amolo Odinga ili waweze kuongea ya kwamba nchi ya Kenya iweze kupata amani.
Elsewhere, a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders in Laikipia has called on the international community to support President William Ruto's government in delivering its administration development programs. Former Laikipia women representative Catherine Waruguru says the government is committed to improving livelihoods in the country. While in Laikipia, Waruguru cautioned the opposition against property destruction in the anti-government protests and instead want the leaders allied to Azimio coalition to seek legal redress when addressing their grievances.
Kenya is not burning, and we want the international community to give us the goodwill to work and give William Ruto the space to implement his manifesto. If you are seeking constitutional implementation against this government, move to the courts. The courts are open and they are working. Wacheni kukuja kusumbua watu hapa kwa street.
And Chief Justice Martha Koome has issued a warning to persons involved in sexual gender-based violence, saying deterrent sentences are being preferred against the vice. According to the CJ, SGBV cases attract a sentence of between 20 to 30 years. While launching the e-filing system of court cases for all the 8 courts across Kiambu County, Chief Justice Martha Koome said the county of Kiambu has been identified as ideal for sexual violence court setup. According to Koome, Kiambu has recorded the highest number of cases on sexual gender-based violence in the country.
We have established a specialized registry, and now you hear 2 magistrates have been designated to deal with the surging cases of sexual gender-based violence. We have a very serious law called the Sexual Offences Act that if you are found guilty, you'll be sentenced up to life imprisonment or 10, I think now we are giving 20 to 30 years.
We shall file documents, soft copy documents, and each litigant will receive summons to enter appearance digitally. We shall reduce the time to file cases from the 5 hours average many years ago to at the very most 20 minutes.
The automation and e-filing system will enable the judiciary and other criminal court justice actors to track performance and speeding up of processes, which will essentially lead to quicker dispensation of justice.
And in matters education, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, has called for an increase of teachers' salaries by at least 60%. NAT National Chairman Patrick Karinga says the load of work for teachers is expected to increase as schools prepare for grade 8 enrollment next year as per the new competency-based curriculum.
While in Mombasa during the annual general meeting for the Kenya National Union of Teachers Kilindini branch, NAT National Chairman Patrick Karinga said the union issued a notice for the Teachers Service Commission to convene a meeting with its employees, having a review of the 2021 to 2025 collective bargaining agreement. 60% salary.
Higher workload as compared to what they used to have there before. And that's why we are telling the Teachers Service Commission that on our CBA, we need to look that CBA once again, whereby we are just asking a 60% pay rise of our salary because of the workload that has been added to what we have been having.
The teachers have also called on the government to ensure safety of teachers and learners amid the opposition-led anti-government protests.
Mombasa was one of the counties that was disturbed by the kind of demonstrations that we are having in the country. And that's why we are telling the government to look for solution. Because now we cannot be having our peoples away. They are not going to school. And when our young runners are not going to school, our teachers are not also comfortable.
The meeting was also attended by officials from the Kenya Primary Schools Heads Association, KBC, who also expressed the need to improve working conditions. NAT also wants interns who were recruited in 2022 to be absorbed on a permanent and pensionable basis.
All right, it's time for business news now, where Kenya tourism arrivals increased 33.5% to 680,000 visitors from January to May this year. Kenya Tourism Board says the surge in tourism numbers was due to increased luxury travels by the youthful population.
Is on an upward trajectory as the country registers increased in tourist arrivals.
We're forward to take people on safari and to show them how we wish to preserve the Mara and how we should look at the animals in the wild.
And our lodge social is also helping our community, that actually supporting our young generation to develop them.
A report by the Kenya Tourism Board indicates that Jomo Kenyatta International Airport recorded 470,000 arrivals between January and May, constituting 68.4% of the total visitation. Holidaying is a leading reason for entry into the country, accounting for 260,000 visitors in the period in review. For sustainability and profitability of the sector that is yet to hit the pre-COVID numbers, KTB is urging players to shift their service delivery, targeting travelers in their late 20s, 30s and 40s. The report says the demographic is survey and craving connection with others, nature and themselves. The millennials and Gen Z are expected to account for more than 60% of luxury spending across all industries in the next 3 years. The report further states that Instagram will be a key tourism branding tool since the younger generation travelers use this platform to look for inspiration for trips by scrolling through photos and watching reels. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
The Kiambu Agriculture Show of Kenya, ASK, opened its doors to the public at the Njukiri Showground, breaking a 2-year hiatus caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. With the theme promoting climate-smart agriculture and trade initiatives for sustainable economic development, the event provided a platform for agricultural players to exchange knowledge and showcase their products and services. Despite the enthusiasm surrounding its return, the show saw lower than expected turnout, attributed to the lingering effects of the pandemic on the economy and people's mobility. However, close to 100 exhibitors from various sectors participated, hoping to tap into new market opportunities and engage with consumers.
Maonyesho ya kilimo katika Kiambu, na kwa hivyo ni kama tuna bounce back kwa maonyesho ya kilimo. Na kwa hivyo tunajua ya kwamba hiyo imeweza kutuadhiri kwa one way or another.
Hakuna demonstrations tangu jana. Kiambu tunaendelea na biashara yetu vile inatakikana.
We are encouraging them to, apart from relying on tea, diversify to other sources of income so that they can have more money and they can also have other things to do, because as you realize, they are only in tea between maybe for a few hours or for some few days in a week, but they also have other activities that they can do to make themselves self-sustainable.
Kuna value addition ingine tunaendelea kutengeneza ya wine ambayo inaendelea na development, na tunatarajia kwamba hivi karibuni itamalizika ndio tuweze kuipeleka kwa commercial stage.
And in sports, double world record holder Faith Kipyegon will be the star attraction at tonight's Diamond League meeting in Monaco. Meanwhile, African 100 meters record holder Ferdinand Omanyala will be on the track against Akani Simbine of South Africa.
Double 1500 meters Olympic and world champion Faith Kipyegon could add the third world record of the year to her collection as she races in the non-Olympic mile distance. Kipyegon will line up against 1500 meters Olympic silver medalist and European champion Laura Muir.
Charging to the line. Is it going to be a world record? Yes, it is! She smashed it!
Meanwhile, the 100 meters will round off the meeting in style with a clash between African 100 meters record holder Ferdinando Manyala, Akani Simbine from South Africa, Letsail Tebogo from Botswana, and Akim Blake from Jamaica.
Headwind, minus 0.9, but daylight between.
World bronze medalist and Diamond League 800 meters champion Mary Moraa will race in the 400 meters, having recently set the Kenyan record of 50.38 seconds at the national trials in Nairobi.
Textbook perfect for the Kenyan to take this one in a good quick time.
At the Kenyans on track tonight are reigning Commonwealth champion Abraham Kibiwot and Simon Koech in men's 3,000 meters steeplechase, Nicholas Kipkorir in the men's 5,000 meters, and Wycliffe Kimanyal in the men's 800 meters. For Lunchtime News, I'm Sila Onyango.
All right, that's all the time we had for Lunchtime News. Thank you for joining us. I am Nissie Imano. Byron Abuli has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Hello and welcome to the 77%, the show for Africa's youth. My name is Jojo Kachi. Today's show is about how music drives our continent. So let's crank up the volume and get the party started. African music genres are dominating global hit charts. We all know Afrobeats unites us across continents and cultures, wherever we are. But what about deep pool of musical talent from the rest of the continent? That's why in today's show, we'll tell you about Cameroon star Magasco. Our street debate takes us to Douala to ask if foreign music content should be regulated. And in Kenya, we will tell you how a hip-hop artist is changing his neighborhood's reputation. Now, let me introduce you to one of Cameroon's finest, Magasco. He wants to promote cultural heritage and unity in a divided country. With 11 million views on YouTube and 2 awards, Magasco also views music as a great unifier. Let's meet him to find out how.
When you talk Cameroonian music, you can't ignore Magasco. He's a megastar. Born in 1988 in Bamenda, northwestern Cameroon, Magasco's love for music started early at the age of 6, when he sang in church. After a stint at university, Magasco became an all-out musician, and famous one at that, inspiring millions. But his biggest fan is his little daughter, Heart.
Come, let me sing for you, Mama. 1, 2, see. I never waste your time. Other girls do me wrong, but you do me right. Oh, my baby, make up your mind. Sugar daddy give you money, I give you love. Me,